Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 12 of The Unexpected Heiress. And so far we have learned in this Amelia's murder mystery that this ambassador of British Emperor to India and his attachee could be linked with Amelia's death or murder because Amelia was a rebel and she interfered with the foreign policy that they didn't like. And we also saw that the ambassador had a greenhouse, and in that greenhouse there was a hidden passage where he kept some exotic plants that he took from India, and we guessed that one of those plants were poisonous, and that was used as the poison that killed Amelia. So we have this information, but we need to dig deeper in this and get the information out of this Attachee and his employer, who is the ambassador. So we start the chapter with this solo motive, and Lady Gemma has something planned in Barrington, which, if you remember, is a place where the Montjoy family lives and where this a very scandalous proposal is set. So this chapter, I think, connects up the very scandalous proposal and some of the diamond scenes of that book to this book. It was very interesting, and we need to get information out of this Attachee and the ambassador. And we decide the ambassador is a tough nut to crack, so the Attachee is going to be the loose cannon. So we need to get as much information out of him as possible. And Lady Gemma arranges another social gathering for all the elites that is going to be some hunting and shooting. So we're going to shoot some birds and stuff, I think. Grouse hunting or something it was mentioned as. But before that, we have another problem, and that is our marriage with Francis. Francis tells us that we need to hurry to find this murderer, but also Francis will try to buy some time, and he would need to talk with his parents. But we'll also have this diamond scene we can memorize, and we can become the part of the memory, one of the memories of Francis with Amelia. So Francis will be basically just fiddling with a mirror that he gave as a present to Amelia, and we'll get the backstory on that, and also a clue that day Amelia had a visitor, and Amelia didn't really say who it was to Francis, but she did say that someone on behalf of their employer came to literally threaten her. But we know who that could be. Employer, yes, you guess it, ambassador, and the person, employee, the attachee, Percy. So that letter and everything we have. And now we go to this ball, not the ball, this time this shooting game. And we first get some one-on-one lesson from Lady Gemma, like how to shoot and everything with gun and bullet. And we get really intimate with her, but we also learn about her husband who died, and who is, if you remember, the one who was having an affair with someone even when he was in this marriage, and he's one of the Montjoys. So he is Ava, or your love interest Montjoy's ancestor in the very scandalous proposal. So remember, we got those letters from some Thomas Montjoy. So this is the Thomas, and Thomas had an affair with someone called Moira, and Thomas and Moira are probably dead now, and their child, their son Oli, who is this a result of this affair, their love child. So Oli is in a boarding school, and Oli is all that Lady Gemma got. And Lady Gemma has been pushed to marry another man, but her heart isn't there. So we can say, like, we'll be there and we'll be accepting Lady Gemma as she is, and we'll share some kisses and stuff. But then we'll get back to work. All our love interests will be there: John, Huge, and Lady Gemma. And then we will try to team up with the ambassador, but will not be accepting of our main character, and he'll have Vincent on his team. So he'll be kicking out Percy out of his team, because definitely he doesn't see Percy as anything other than an employee. Pardon me. So then we will get to team up with Percy and Lord Tilly, and we will get to throughout various scenes like shooting and how we interact with Percy will get to impress him, and this will come in handy later because after the shooting, we will when everyone will be socializing. Still, then, till at that point also, still the ambassador will be keeping his distance from Percy because he doesn't want to interact with an employee, just a common man with that much. So we will, Percy will be really salty and will be drinking too much, and then we will hit him with all the clues. So if you have collected all the clues, you're gonna hit him with everything, and he will have nowhere to go but confess that they were little bugged, not a little, but really bugged by Amelia. And Amelia's death really helped them because Amelia got to know something about their illegal business. So they were involved in some kind of bribery in this foreign affair with India. So what kind of bribery did he talk? Did he talk about, or was he referring to? We don't know yet. But we then see after the event, Huntsberry and the ambassador, they were going out on a horse ride, and then the Attachee follows him, and because definitely he's going to tell him everything about how we cornered him in the party. So Hughes will try to accompany us so we can eavesdrop on what they say, and then we do that. That was a good ride. We discuss a lot of emotions and also some alone time with another love interest, Hughes. And then we finally see they stop, and they basically come off their horses and gather around to talk about the foreign policies, and they're talking really in a harsh tone about a dead person who is Amelia's sister. That Amelia and Ambassador even commented that Amelia gotten to know so much, but Amelia's problem was solved by her murder. So someone took care of that problem. So we don't think that it could have been the ambassador who killed Amelia, but maybe someone killed Amelia on behalf of the ambassador. Something like that happened. But these two douchebags, Amelia, I'm sorry, the ambassador and his Attachee, they know more than they're letting in. So we need to still keep an eye out for them, and then when they return, we also follow them back to the manor, and of course we take an alternate route, and in the stable we share a kiss with Hughes. You can do that, and when we will come out of the stable after kissing Hughes, we will run straight into John. So the first thought, it was described, did John know about the kissing? Like, our main character kissed Hughes in the stable. So you can see, like, because there are different allies, but John is still the main love interest here, and I've talked about it before why that makes kind of sense, but that doesn't mean like all the other love interests are not, you won't be able to choose them or not, but they have the same, importance, but John kind of stands out on his own terms. So then John will be telling us that we need to move on with this because the lab where Francis submitted the poison, they have confirmed that this is from a purple plant that comes from India. So that's confirmed. It was from the ambassador's greenhouse that someone took the poison and killed Amelia. And also they were talking about Amelia's death, like how Amelia died. Amelia's killing, I should rather say, in a weird way, harsh tone. That nobody should be speaking about someone who's dead like that. So definitely the bribery and everything. There's a lot going on there. And the next chapter, we will have one last chance to get the details out of them. So here we go. Next chapter is going to be chapter 13, and it's going to be really interesting. We're going to finally learn who killed Amelia. And I kid you not, it's going to be a big revelation. Or is it? It will be fun. Let's see what goes on. And the description says they want to play mind games, then mind game is what you will play. So, mind games. Because I liked this last chapter, because we really needed to, buddy up with Pierce, Percy, Jennings guy, because, he had a soft spot toward the ambassador, because the ambassador was just showing him his right spot. So we just need to we just needed to win his trust and then get the information out of him. So how you can do that? It was a really interesting part, and I think it, you know, the choices we were given, we needed to choose the right choice really carefully, and I think that was as if all the readers are investigating alongside the main character like that. I hope the next chapter is going to be more interesting with the revelation. Fingers crossed. I can't wait for next week. Let's see what happens. And I'll also carry on the Veil of Secrets review. And I think both the chapters, chapter 13 of this book, the unexpected areas, in chapter 14 of Veil of Secrets, they have big revelations. Now, keep in mind, 13, 14 is going to be about solving the murder, and 15, 16 is going to be about our love interest choice. So that's a really good thing, because in Veil of Secrets, the main thing is the murder. We solve it by the end of chapter 16, which is the last chapter. It's solved, and then a little time with the love interest. And even if you and even that is diamond choice basically, otherwise you'll go back to New York alone. But in this book they focus on the murder plot, but that ends in chapter 14. That is really good. I think two more chapters about this murder mystery. We'll know who killed Amelia. Then the next two chapters, how we will get out of this fake marriage and follow our true love, and then we will get married with them, and what will happen with us in the future. So I think proper two chapters dedicated to love interest after we solve the mystery. I think that is just the right way to finish it in this book, but only time will tell on that, like what's gonna happen. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this. Let's talk about this. I'm really excited about the how this book wraps up in the month of November. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, peace out.